Hi guys, and welcome to the start of my channel. Just start this, I'm not going to do any intros, I'm just going to get straight into a video. And it's one of the most bizarre, weirdest cases that I've actually looked up on today. So I thought to start the channel off, this is going to be what I'm going to start off with. And this is the case of Elisa Lam. I think I'm saying this right, it's either Elisa or Elisa Lam. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Elisa Lam. I'm going to go with Elisa. I think it's Elisa. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think it's Elisa. But I do think many of you would have heard of this case because it's had so much coverage and so many people talking about it because of how strange the circumstances around it actually are. So to kick right into it, Elisa Lam was a 20-year-old student from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. She lived with a family and she also studied at the University of British Columbia. So this case actually starts off with her wanting to do a solo trip. She wanted to get away from her studies, have a break from everything. And on this solo trip, she planned to go around the West Coast. So she had arrived in LA on the 26th of January 2013, before this stopping at San Diego, and after this LA trip planning to go to Santa Cruz. So this LA stop wasn't necessarily her last stop. Her family had been quite worried about her going because obviously it was her first solo trip, she was leaving family. Obviously I can see where they're coming from, they're going to be worried because she's going alone. But Elisa was determined to go and have a good time and get away from her studies. And this is why it came as a shock to them when she didn't actually call them on the January the 31st, the day that she was meant to check out of LA. And the hotel that she was staying in LA was the Cecil. And I will go into it a little bit later, but the background of the Cecil Hotel was already quite sketchy, quite dodgy. It's had a lot of bad things happen in it, let's just say. I will go into it more in detail later in the video. So after not being able to get in contact with her on the day that she was actually meant to check out, they thought they'd phone the Los Angeles Police Department just to get them to check the area because obviously they were so far away from her. So the police did just this. They checked the area, they checked the surrounding premises, but they couldn't actually find Elisa. The police soon after released video footage from the hotel onto their website. And this is when the situation just gets so much more bizarre. It leads you to more questions than it actually does answers, which is so frustrating. This video showed Elisa in one of the hotel elevators on the day of her disappearance. In this video, she was acting bizarre, not herself, quite confused. She was certainly acting out of character for sure. You can judge for yourself on the clip. I will insert the clip that I have found on this elevator. So as you can see, she's seen stepping into the elevator, somewhat pushing all the buttons in the elevator. She's then seen stepping in and out of the elevator, and then suddenly she steps out of the elevator and looks around as if she's looking for someone or as if she's hiding for someone, which I found so sketchy. She's then seen out of the elevator completely, and she's showing, you can judge for yourself, but she looks like she's speaking to someone because she's doing hand motions. She's kind of, I don't know, to me it looks so dodgy, like she's speaking to someone but nobody else was actually in the footage. So 2 weeks later, on February the 13th, maintenance team was called out to the hotel. This was due to a lot of customer complaints of the water tasting funny, the water looking funny, really low water pressure. So the maintenance worker in the name of Santiago Lopez actually checked the water tanks because if there's an issue with the water, that is probably where the issue is going to stem from. Unfortunately, this is where they did find Elisa's dead body floating in one of the tanks. What I found completely weird is that it wasn't she was just in there floating. She was completely naked with the clothes from the original elevator clip like floating next to her. So they had to completely drain the tank and actually cut it open from the side to get her body out. I think the weirdest part about the whole water tank situation is that the water tanks were up on the roof in the hotel, and the only access to the roof in the hotel was by workers. So how did she possibly get up there without having maybe some sort of help from a worker or someone that could get up there, because obviously she wouldn't have had a key for it. Hotel staff have pointed out that she wasn't with anybody, not that they knew of. When she was in the hotel or around the hotel, she was always alone. But at least one person saw her before her death, and this was an owner of a bookstore called Katie Orphan. She said that Elise came in to buy books and music for her family, so it seemed like she was wanting to go home. She was ready to go home because she was buying gifts for her family and she was buying books for her studies to go back home. So when the autopsy results finally came back, it only led to more questions. So the toxicology report reported that this is just from one source that I've seen, it might not be completely true, this is just from one source that I've seen. I've seen sources that say that in her report there was completely no drugs, there was not even there's no medical drugs. But in this one report that I saw, she did have medical drugs in her body, and they were from her bipolar and depression medication. But there was no illegal substances or alcohol in her body at all. So some people have pointed out, and it makes so much sense, that the medication that she was on did have possible side effects of hallucinogenics, manic side effects, and people thought that she might not have been taking these properly and it might have triggered one of these side effects, or even that she was taking them properly and just one of the side effects really hit her, which does make sense because of the way she was acting bizarrely in the elevator clip. So the hotel manager, Katie Price, actually agrees with people that are thinking this, due to the fact that when she first came to the hotel, she was put in like a hostel room and she was sharing with other people, but she was actually forced to move that room because of complaints from the people that she was staying with, saying that she had odd behaviour. I don't know what this odd behaviour was because there was no sources to say, but she was actually forced to move due to odd behaviour, which I find quite sketch. But even if she was dealing with mental health issues, she did take this medication. How did she get into that water tank? People have said she could not have gone on her own. And how would she have actually got up there in the first place? It's just so bizarre, and it just makes my head feel funny. So let's go into the background of the Cecil Hotel. It has been the home and the scene of many suicides, many accidental deaths, murders, and at one point the Black Dahlia was actually reported staying there. But all in all, there has been at least 15 deaths, whether this has been of natural causes, suicides, murders. There's been 15 deaths just reported. That could just be like a small number of what has happened. So this leads me into the theories. So one theory is that it was supernatural causes. The hotel was seemingly haunted due to all the incidents that has happened. So yeah, supernatural is one that I do believe in the supernatural, but in this case I don't know. I can't wrap my head around whether it would have been something supernatural or if the logical theory probably was her medication and it just triggered some different side effects that made her hallucinate. And obviously there is the theory that obviously someone else was involved. She was actually murdered. And this does make sense due to the fact that how would she have got up there? It could have been anyone that helped get into that tank. And a lot of people think it actually was someone that works there, because obviously they'd have access to the tanks. There has also been so many other theories and conspiracies around this, and I'm going to go into some of the conspiracies in a different video because it's just crazy, some of the actual conspiracies surrounding this and how big of a scale it can actually get to. So yeah, I hope you like this first video. It was really bizarre, and I would really like to know what you think about this. I still have no idea what I think. I think every theory is so plausible and they all could be possible. I think what I'm most going with is she was dealing with mental health issues and the medication triggered some sort of manic period that she was going through, or hallucinations. I don't know, it's just a crazy case. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and be sure to let me know what you thought below. Remember to like and subscribe for more videos, and definitely tell me in the comments some other videos that I should discuss and go around. Thank you.